Digital, culture, media, and sport. Digital. Digital and technological advancements will bring challenges but also huge opportunities. In the age of AI and automation, digital connectivity will underpin our future economy. We will need world-class digital infrastructure in which everyone can share. Labour will deliver free, full-fibre broadband to all by 2030. We will establish British Broadband with two arms, British Digital Infrastructure, BDI, and the British Broadband Service, BBS. We will bring the broadband-relevant parts of BT into public ownership, with a jobs guarantee for all workers in existing broadband infrastructure and retail broadband work. BDI will roll out the remaining 90 to 92% of the full fibre network and acquire necessary access rights to existing assets. BBS will coordinate the delivery of free broadband in tranches as the full fibre network is rolled out, beginning with the communities worst served by existing broadband networks. Taxation of multinationals, including tech giants, will pay for the operating costs of the public full fibre network. The plan will boost jobs, tackle regional inequality, and improve quality of life as part of a mission to connect the country. We will enforce a legal duty of care to protect our children online, impose fines on companies that fail on online abuse, and empower the public with a charter of digital rights. Culture. Britain's thriving arts, culture and creative industries drive investments and encourage tourism. A Labour government will open up career opportunities in these industries for everyone and consult on ways to address the gender imbalance in the digital creative industries. We will introduce an arts pupil premium to every primary school in England, a £160 million annual boost for schools to ensure creative and arts education is embedded in secondary education, and providing a pathway to grow our thriving creative sector. We will invest in the towns and communities neglected for too long, with a £1 billion cultural capital fund to transform libraries, museums and galleries across the country. We will make the distribution of national lottery funding more transparent to help communities get their fair share of project funding. We will maintain free entry to museums because everyone should have access to our shared heritage. Building on the success of the UK City of Culture, we will launch a Town of Culture competition. We will work with trade unions and employers to make creative jobs accessible for all, ensuring diversity of these industries so that everyone sees themselves represented on screen and on stage. We will review the copyright framework to ensure fair remuneration for artists and content creators. Media. A Labour government will ensure a healthy future for all our public service broadcasters, including BBC Alba and S4C. We will protect free TV licences for the over 75s. A free and fair press is vital to protecting democracy and holding the powerful to account. We will address misconduct and the unresolved failures of corporate governments raised by the second stage of the abandoned Leveson inquiry. We will take steps to ensure that Ofcom is better able to safeguard a healthy plurality of media ownership, and to put in place clearer rules on who is fit and proper to own or run TV and radio stations. We will take action to address the monopolistic hold the tech giants have on advertising revenues, and will support vital local newspapers and media outlets. We will consult media sector workers and trade unions to establish an inquiry into the fake news undermining trust in media, democracy and public debate, and on a legal right of public interest defence for journalists. Sport. Sport enriches our lives, binds communities together, and helps us all to stay healthy. Sport must be accessible and run in the interests of those who participate in it and love it. In football, the professional game has become divided between the extremes of the very rich and the very poor, with clubs in Bury and Bolton facing collapse. A Labour government will examine the state of the game, its governance and regulation, its ownership rules, and the support and funding of the clubs that are vital to local communities. We will review the fit and proper person test for club owners and directors, and ensure that supporters' trusts have a proper role so that the professional game is properly run for all its fans and all its clubs. A Labour government will legislate for accredited football supporters' trusts to be able to appoint and remove at least 2 club directors and purchase shares when clubs change hands. We will regulate safe standing in stadiums and ensure that a proportion of the Premier League television rights income is spent on grassroots football facilities. We will add the ICC Cricket World Cup to the list of crown jewels supporting events that are broadcast free to air. We will commission an independent review into discrimination in sport. Gambling. A Labour government will curb gambling advertising in sports and introduce a new gambling act fit for the digital age, establishing gambling limits, a levy for problem gambling funding, and mechanisms for consumer compensations. Civic society. In the years of austerity, it was non-government organisations that often held the social fabric of our society together, protecting our communities from even greater harm and providing precisely targeted support. As we rebuild our public services, we will support and maintain the social capital values of these organisations.